Greetings, I'm Barrett and welcome to Meet Me at the Table. Today we're going to be doing a playthrough of Rise of Myth Cthulhu. This is the newest game by Synergic Games. This is going to be going to crowdfunding here at the time of this recording. So if you're looking to find more info on this game, please check out the link to the crowdfunding page in the description of this video. Rise of the Mythos Cthulhu is a cooperative deck building game designed for 1 to 3 players. This is in the world of H.P. Lovecraft, as you can tell by the word Cthulhu. It usually means H.P. Lovecraft. In the game, this is going to be a roguelite system, so you're going to be going against a guardian, and you're going to take one of your characters, or 2 or 3, depending on how many players you have, and go against a guardian, and this guardian is going to be pretty strong. So it's similar to other roguelite games, it's going to take more than one play to get to them, and as you play through the game, you're going to gain power points that you can spend on your next attempt to try to get to the guardian and take this guardian out. I started to fall in love with the roguelite system. It's been really fun for some of the games that I've played that have this system. I'm excited to show you Rise of the Myth Cthulhu, and if you're excited to see Rise of the Mythos, then I need you to meet me at the table. We're going to jump right into the setup of this game, and I'm going to explain things as we go, and then of course there will be a playthrough after we get everything all set up. So the first thing we need to do is select our character, and we have to set up our locations. So there are 2 different types of things you're going to be doing in this. There's going to be exploring, which you're going to be moving through this deck, and that's going to be the exploration phase. And then of course there's also going to be an encounter phase that you're going to find on these exploration cards. So you're going to take the 13 cards, I've already shuffled them up and they're ready to go. You're going to turn over the first card, and this is your first card that you're going to be on. We'll place our character tokens on here. Now, if you look at the card itself, there are many different things going on, and I'm going to show you them. The first thing are these buildings. They're just there for they look cool, and they kind of show you the paths you can take with your characters. The things we need to be interested in are these. This right here, these are going to be combat encounters, and this is going to be an event encounter that we're going to have, that we can decide to do. And of course, with our little token here, we can decide to go wherever we wish to go on this card. Now, once we decide to leave the card, say we decide we want to go this way, you're going to see either blue or brown tags going off of this card. Once we decide to move off the card, we're going to take the next card in our sequence, reveal it. If we're going up, we'll reveal it up here, down here, and so forth, and as you get the picture. And then we're going to match up the sides of the cards that are blue or brown to where they are on this card. And you'll see how that goes during the exploration phase, but that's kind of all there is to setting this up. We got a great card here that does actually have 2 different things that we can show you. It'll be pretty awesome. So that's the setup for the location deck and the exploration deck that we have here that we're going to be using as we move through the game. The next thing we are going to set up is our guardian. This prototype does only come with 1 guardian, and that is Cthulhu. The version, once it has been gone through crowdfunding, is supposed to come out with 3 other bosses. Each boss, from what I understand, is going to have their own set of enemy cards. These are going to go from common, minion, servant, superior, elite, and guardian. Now, of course, for our playthrough demo purposes, we only have up to servant, and that's totally fine. This is going to be a very condensed version of how the game runs, but it's going to be able to show you everything about the game as you see through the playthrough. Normally, as we go through this, we are going to be gathering up our different objective tokens, and normally in a game you're going to have about 9 to 12 of those before you go to the boss's area and have to deal with his card here. But for the demo purposes, they're only going to give me about 4 to 6 before I get there. Then I'm going to be taking on Cthulhu, and we'll see how it goes. Cthulhu does come with his own round card that shows, as we go through the encounter, what is going to be happening to us at the beginning of each round. He does have his own set of curse cards that we're going to have to deal with, and then of course he has his own deck of cards that we're going to have to deal with as well. So our boss is all set to go. The next set of cards we're going to get ready for is the event deck. And again, I believe each person or boss or guardian, I should say, does have his own event deck. This is going to be the setup of how we're going to be doing our combat encounters. The first one we do in phase 1 is going to come with 2 common and 1 minion. When we are successful, I say when, hopefully we are, it's only the first one, we're going to get 2 coins that we can spend if we ever find a shop. Now there are 2 sides to this card, a 1-player and 2-player side. In the full version, there will also be a 3-player one as well. This shop here is going to be limited for the playthrough purposes for the prototype, but in the real version of the game, there's going to have a lot more different things that you can buy. But for this one, we can spend 5 coins to gain back some health and sanity. We could also buy some more cards for our deck. This is a deck builder game, and we also can remove a card from our deck, which could also help us, because if you've ever played deck builders, sometimes the beginning cards aren't the best to have as you continue through the game. One of the things that would change as you go through on the shop is as you progress through the game, like I said, you're going to be gaining points that you can spend. And some of the things you can spend the points on is to be able to put more things in the shop. So for example, I could unlock more powerful cards available in this shop. Of course, those have to be able to be gained outside of the shop before I could do that. On top of that, I can also unlock class items and relics, synergy relics, and I can also unlock a bazaar. So there's so many different things that you can pay to allow to be bought inside this shop. Here are a couple of the synergy type cards that we could get. We have these synergy relics. These are going to have to be charged up and then be used. You'll see kind of how those work during the playthrough. On top of that, our characters each have different class items that could be gained at these shops. And I'll show you some of those for our characters when we go to that part of the game. And speaking of that part of the game, here are our characters. We're going to choose 2 characters to play with. You can play solo, and you can play with up to 3 characters at the same time if you're interested. And you could play one-handed, or you could play up to 3-handed if you're interested. Of course, you could also play 3 players as well. We have the Possessed, the Seer, the Detective, and the Sorcerer. All 4 of these characters do have an internal mechanic for their character that is completely different from other ones. He, for example, will be using ammo and has like a gun. This guy is going to be discarding cards and taking damage and doing damage because of it. She's able to foresee the future by using her ability, and this one is going to be able to do extra damage based on the type of damage that she's taken. So they all have their own little mechanic inside their game, and a lot of that's explained on their class item. We're going to be playing with the Possessed and the Seer. We're going to put the Sorcerer and the Detective back in the box. When setting up our character, we are going to find their class relic. This class relic will tell us the starting health and sanity value for our character, and every class relic does have a little helpful thing here that you can do. Each time you discard pile shuffled, with your draw pile, you're going to gain 1 energy. Now, I did talk to them. This is confirmed that each time you just shuffle the deck, if you shuffle your discard into, you get to gain an energy. Energy is going to be used to buy and spend for playing cards. The next thing we're going to do is divide our deck into the 3 different types of cards that we can have. The first one we have are our starter cards. We also have our common cards, and there's also going to be uncommon cards as well. Those, again, are not part of the prototype that I have, and I probably should state that this is a prototype, so everything you do see in this playthrough and setup is definitely subject to change going through the crowdfunding process and the development of this game. So we're going to separate those 2 decks of cards. We're going to put these to the side, and we're going to gain these as we go through the game. But for now, we're going to start with just our common cards. We're going to give them a quick little truffle shuffle here and get them ready to go. That's our set of cards. We also are going to take the tokens for our character as well. These are going to be helping just to denote what certain things she is doing. Also, it can help us figure out what enemies are targeting who. We can just place those on the cards. Now, remember I talked about class items and that you could potentially buy these from the shop. Here's just a few of the class items. Now, I don't know if we'll be gaining any of these through the game. We might, because some of the cards that I gain might be able to be class items, but they are going to give you some extra abilities for your characters moving through them. So if 2 or more divinations fail with the same turn, I can draw a card, and that is kind of her little mechanic that she has inside of her character here. She has what's called divination, and that's the ability to try to see the future. For example, if we go here, this says melee attack divination. So if I decide to pay 2 energy and play this card, I would do 2 attack. And if you look down here, it has a yellow symbol that says I would inflict bleed, and a white symbol that says no effect. So if I would take my draw deck and do a divination check, which means I would flip over the next card. If it's an attack card, that means that my divination was successful and I'm able to do a bleed. Now, if it was anything else, we do have blue cards in here, which are going to be defense cards, and there's also yellow cards as well in some of the decks that also that are considered skill cards. those skill cards would have also failed it as well. If you do have a dual one, say it's a melee and defense one at the same time, that would be a success because an attack and defense card, that would be a success because it is technically an attack card. So that's kind of her little thing inside of her deck that she can do. I think it's really kind of cool that she has that ability to kind of foresee how well she's going to be able to do. So that's kind of one of the reasons I want to play with her. So those are the class items. They do have a few of them for the game, but like I said, I don't know if we'll be seeing them. Every character does get to start with a synergetic relic here, a synergy relic. Each character gets one of these. Now these are going to be things that you can do building up over time, and then after that you can unleash some really cool powers that could really help you out. But of course, the more energy you have to get, the more powerful it's going to be, but the longer it's going to take to get it. And you can only power these up inside combats, and on top of that, once you get to the top, you can only use it once per encounter. So I can't fill this up multiple times and be able to use it in an encounter. But I think we're going to take this one. This one says if you play an attack, defense, and skill this turn, I can regain 4 health. I would lose 1 insanity. Now, the interesting thing is that star right there is if I'm able to synergize with any of the other characters that are with me. For example, say our other character has this one, I would be able then, if she had hers powered up and ready to go, I could synergize it, and other characters are going to regain 3 health if they fulfill the same requirements. So there is a lot of co-op in this game where we have to discuss things. Also, you can play any card in your deck for another character with an extra cost, and I'll talk about that as we play through the game. So, and there are cards in there that specifically say cooperative, which then you wouldn't pay the extra cost if you use that on the other character. So we're going to gain one of these synergy relics for our seer. I think our 2 characters are going to take these 4-point ones. That way you can see them a little bit more because I can trigger these more often just to show you how these work. I have to figure out which one she's going to need. Gain 4 energy, lose. I think I'm going to give her this one. Discard all conditions and inflict that same amount among creatures deciding its type. Lose 1 sanity. And if, of course, we could trigger this together, we're going to gain 1 energy for each condition discarded. This one's going to go over for our possessed. This character is all set to go. Here's the Possessed. The Possessed has a lot of sanity and only 9 health, so they're kind of just the opposite with 11 and 9 and 11 and 9, which is another reason I chose the 2 to see the difference between how that works. She has a lot of cards that have her lose sanity, and as she becomes insane, which is where you drop below a threshold of 5 sanity, that means that she would go insane. So if I have 5, if the sanity remains at or below 5, she would be considered insane, and I believe she has cards that actually do a little bit more damage and a little bit more power if she actually is insane. We have her tokens ready to go, and I gave her the other Synergy Relic, and we'll have to power that up during the game. So our characters are set up, our Cthulhu is all set up, we also have the rest of our shops and encounters set up, and again, she also comes with her class items as well that you could get. You are immune to all conditions while insane. So again, as she becomes insane, after combat, regain 1 health. If you are insane, you and 1 additional health if you are also wounded. So, and if wounded is the same as being insane, wounded is if your character has or drops below 5 health, they would also be considered wounded in that instance. The final thing we need to get ready are our tokens for the game, and you'll see how a lot of these interact as the game goes forward. These are our damage markers. This is the energy that we're going to accumulate to play cards and other things. This is going to be defense tokens that we're going to use. This is vulnerability tokens. These are going to be stun tokens. These are going to be weakness tokens. We also have prison tokens, and as you can see, the numbers are higher than just 1 because you can gain more than 1 of these as you go through the game. This is going to be our starting player token. This is our bleed tokens, and these are going to be our sanity tokens that when we take damage. And these are going to be ammo tokens. This is going to be if we played with the detective, he would gain ammo in his gun and he'd be shooting that off, which is kind of cool. And finally, we have our exploration tokens out here that we're placing down on our map. And once we get to a certain threshold of those, we're able to add in the Cthulhu card and we can go take him on. With our game all set up, it is time to jump in and take on some bad guys. We need to power ourselves up in order to take on Cthulhu. So we have 2 options here. I could move into this combat encounter here, or I could go to the event encounter down there. I think I'm just going to take on a combat encounter first. And looking at our 2-player card, we are going to be choosing 2 common and 1 minion. I shouldn't say choosing, we are going to be dealt, I should say, 2 common and 1 minion enemy. I've grabbed the top 2 common and the minion card, and we're just going to flip them over and reveal the cards that we have here. We have a Plague, a Chaplain, and we also have a Parasite. These are the different ones we have. Now, the things we're seeing on these cards, we're going to go through every part of it. The first thing we have is the health we need in order to destroy the enemy. Then we have what it is and what rank it is. It is a common. This is going to be not only its initiative value, but it's also going to show who it's going to try to target. In this particular instance, it's going to target the person that is considered the leader. This one is going to target the person who last dealt it damage, and this one is going to target the person that is not the leader. So we do have a lot of different ones out here. Some of them come with things that are going to happen as they come out or during the game. This one says regain 1 health by the end of the round if there are other undefeated enemies, even if the plague has been defeated. So that means we have to, this is the last one we can defeat, or we just have to defeat it as we defeat everything else. Down here, each round, new things are going to happen to this monster, and we're going to go through each one of these. So we're in the first round, so the bottom part is going to be how this monster is going to act. It's going to, at the beginning of the round, it's going to gain 1 defense token, and when it is its turn, it's going to do 2 damage to the person who is the leader. The Chaplain, on the other hand, has 3 health, gain 2 shields, and has 2 attack, and it also says attacked character loses 1 sanity. So if this one does attack somebody, it's going to lose a sanity. That's bad news. This one is also going to do that. Characters attacked by it lose 1 sanity. It has 5 health, 1 defense, and 2 attack when it goes through. The minions, of course, are a more powerful group of enemies than the common ones. Now, it just so happened that we got lucky enough that they actually came out in initiative order, which is funny. But if this one, say this one was the 2, you would then just reverse these, or you would actually, no, you wouldn't reverse them. Let me make sure I get this right. If this had a 2 and this had a 1, you would take this one in front and move it down. If they have the same number, they're just put in draw order. Now, when you go to attack these, unless there's something on the card that prevents you from hitting that and without hitting another person or enemy, you don't have to hit these in a particular order. It's not like I have to take this guy down, then this guy, then this guy. You can hit anybody in any order you want to, but they're going to activate in initiative order. And their activation of who they go after may change. So for example, this one could be attacks the person with the most health. This one could also have been attack the person with the most health. And if this person would have done 2 damage and then moved to this person and done 4 damage, now the person that this was targeting may be different. It may be a different person because the person that had the most health had now already taken 4 damage. So that would switch who this person attacks, which is why the order does have some importance. Now, of course, these are played in rounds. As you can tell, there are only 3 here. So if you go past the 3rd round, go into the 4th round, you just go back to the front and start going through it again. Also, as the rounds go forward, they can progressively get harder because the more you're fighting, the more noise you might be creating and the strain it's becoming on you. So if you ever go into the 4th round, you'd be adding a new common enemy to this. If we go to the 5th round, all of our characters are going to lose 1 sanity. Going into even the 6th round, even another common enemy is going to come and join us. So you need to try to take these enemies out as fast as you can. Now, if you ever get to a point where you have to draw cards from an enemy set of a deck of cards and there aren't any there, you take all the cards that had been previously beat and you would shuffle them back up and create the deck again. At this point, we are going to get our characters all ready to go for this encounter. And if you notice, I am moving a little bit slow because I do want to explain all the things going on in the game. But as we get going a little bit more, we'll be moving a little bit faster. The first thing we have to do is choose who is going to be our starting player. And that player will be called the leader, and we will give them this token. For now, we're going to have the possessed be the leader. You do have to choose that before you draw your cards. At that point, you would then shuffle up your deck and get them all set to go. We are going to draw up to 6 cards for each of our characters. They all get to start with 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have our 6 cards. Our possessed has Subjugate, which is an attack card. This is going to do 1 damage, and I'm going to add 1 attack for each instance of that token that the enemy has. And I believe that is the weakness token. So if it gets this token, it would actually do 1 less damage when it is its turn. The next thing we have is we have This card, I'm going to butcher all of these names and I apologize. Ushaka's Peace. This is a defense card that's going to give me 2 defense. You may discard one character's condition. If you do so, I get to regain a sanity, which is good for that. This is a melee attack and a defense card. It does both. It's purple. It's called Hold. This will do 2 attack and 2 defense, but when I play it, I'm going to lose 1 sanity. I've got 2 of those. This is a skill card. This is going to inflict weakness on up to 2 enemies and draw 1 card. Then the character loses 1 sanity. Now it says characters, but I believe it's only the 1 character is going to lose the sanity. This one then goes to melee attack, attack 1, add 1 again for these. These are the starter cards, so you're going to see a lot of the same type of cards. Those are her 6 cards. Now let's take a look at the cards that the Seer has got. We'll give her deck a quick little truffle shuffle here so it's all set to go. And we are going to draw out 6 cards for her as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are the 6 I have. We have Premeditation. It's a melee attack. It has that divination keyword. It is going to allow us to do 1 attack and also is going to be able to add an attack if I'm right about my premonition. Now the cool thing about this card is it costs 0. Next we have Corpse in the Making. It's a melee attack. Again, divination that does 2 damage. It also could inflict bleed if I am right about my divination. This is a cooperative defense card. So if I felt that the possessed was going to be taking a lot of damage, I could play this on her to give her 2 defense. If I decided I wanted to play this one on her, which is a defense divination, defense 1, and then draw a card, this one would cost me 2 to play on myself. If I were to play a card that is not a cooperative card to another character, which you can do, this would then cost 3 energy, and the character taking the card's ability would have to gain 1 sanity. So there is a downside to playing things that are not cooperative to another player, but sometimes that is important to do. Then we have 2 different attack cards here. One's a melee that's going to do attack 1 and inflict bleed, and this one is also going to attack and inflict bleed. Now the number you're seeing up here is how much energy it's going to cost to play these cards, and so let's try to gain some energy and I'll show you how that works. But first, let's go to the beginning of round phase, which is where we're going to be placing down anything that happens at the beginning of the round. Gaining these defense tokens is going to happen at the beginning of this round. If we had some, we would also gain them as well. This character is going to gain 1. This one is going to gain 2. And this one is also going to gain 1 defense. And of course, you have to break through the defense before you can do any damage. Now, of course, once you do the defense, break the defense, it does go away. So you don't have to keep on trying to get through that defense. Also, we can place down our tokens as to who they're going to attack. So this one is going to attack the possessed. We do not know who this one's attacking yet. And this one is going to attack our Seer. Now this game is played in a combat sequence. It's going to start with the maintenance phase, then move into the player phase, and then the enemy phase. Our player actions can kind of go back and forth, or they could stick to one character at a time. It's kind of a free flow as to how it works, but you cannot have another person do an action until the action that you have taken has completely resolved. So for example, if I play this card, I can't inflict 1 to all 2 enemies, and then before I draw a card, have something else happen. I have to complete all of this before I move into the next action for either my character on the possessed side or over to the Seer. So to play cards, like I said, we need energy. So to gain energy, you have to discard the other cards that are going to give you energy. So for example, I'm going to discard that card to gain 2 energy that then I can use to play some of my cards. So for example, I could play this card right here, which would then inflict weakness on up to 2 different enemies, and I'd be able to draw a card, and the character loses 1 sanity, so we'll take a sanity hit and put it on our character there. I do still have 1 more energy that I have not spent for our character yet. We do get to draw a card and place these out here. And for recording purposes, we're going to draw the card and then place these, but I should normally place these first. Well, actually, let's just go place them real quick. All of these are going to do 2 damage. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to take any of them out in the first round, so I'm just going to place the weakness tokens. Actually, I'm going to place the weakness token, I think, on the Plague and onto the Parasite, because I don't know where he is going to be attacking yet. And as long as I know that both of these are taking 1 damage from these, as long as I can maybe get their defense up to 3, then I know I'm not taking damage from him either. Or if anything, I could focus fire on the Chaplain right now and try to take him out so that I don't take sanity hits. Moving back to the possessed, I do get to draw a card, and we have gained Scare Away, defense 2. I get to regain a sanity. That's pretty awesome. At this point, we are going to try to take some of these enemies out. I am going to gain some energy in order to play my cards, which is going to be super good. So I'm going to pay 2 energy to discard this card for 2 energy. Now, I'm not actually putting my discard pile. I'm putting it over here just to remind myself how much energy I have, and I'm also placing energy tokens on here just to remind myself. So I've got 3. So I'm going to spend 1 energy to do 1 attack and add 1 for each weakness the enemy has. So that's going to cost me 1 energy. I'm going to play another one of those, which is going to cost me another energy, which is going to mean we've done a total of 1, 2, 3, 4 points of damage to something. I'm then going to lose this card as well to gain back 2 energy to be able to play this card, which will not only do 2 damage, but it will give me 2 defense. But again, I'm losing a sanity, so we're going to go back to 2 sanity there, but we have done a total of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 damage, and that's going to cost me 2 energy. Now, I do have a leftover energy. You can discard a card to gain energy to be able to place onto your synergetic relic once per turn. So at this point, I'm going to end my turn by putting that on there and doing 6 damage. At this point, I am going to do 6 to this because it's going to cost me 1, and then it has 5 defense, so that is enough to kill the parasite minion. We'll just flip him over. He is now a dead enemy. Moving over to the Seer's turn, let's see what she can do. I am first going to play my 0-point card cost. I don't have to pay anything, and I get to attack for 1, and I get to try to premonition here, or divination, and I got a defense, so it's not going to help. I'm going to lose 1 defense. Now, if you don't have any of the tokens, you are not going to lose that, so I'm not going to lose any defense. I don't have any. I don't have any. So at this point, we're going to pay 2 to gain 2 energy onto our character here. That is going to allow us to play, which one? We'll play this one. This is going to attack 2 and potentially inflict bleed. So we'll pay our 2 energy. We are going to check to see if we got an attack card. We did get an attack card, so we're going to do 2 damage and inflict bleed. This may be a moot point because I might actually take this guy out, but he's going to gain a bleeding token. So at the end of his turn, he would take 1 damage for each bleeding token on him. Then once that's done, we would remove the tokens. It only happens once. The same with the weakness. Once this attacks, the weakness then would go away, so that it only affects them for 1 turn. Now, sadly, I don't think I'm going to have enough to take him out, so instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend this for 2 energy to be able to play my Sense Danger card, giving myself 2 defense, and then I have 1 card left. I'm going to play that card to give myself 1 energy to place onto our relic here. I do want to mention you do not carry cards over to the next round, so playing all your cards is the most advantageous thing to do. Also, energy does not carry over into the next round, so if I had energy left over from the previous round, I would lose it. So it's always good to play it, put at least 1 onto your relic here so that you can use it. I'm going to discard all of our cards. We're done with that. I am now going to activate our enemies. It's going to be their turn. This one is going to do 2 damage to this person here. That's the possessed. And since she was the last one to attack this, the chaplain is going to attack her as her targeted character. This is going to do 2 damage, and the attack character is going to lose 1 sanity, and this person is just going to attack for 2, minus the weakness, so it's only for 1. So if we go to the possessed, taking 1 would put our shield down to 1. Going over to the Seer is going to lose both shields, but since she was attacked, she is going to lose 1 sanity. At this point, the character with the bleed token is going to lose 1 damage, so we'll remove the bleed token. This is also going to be removed as well, since we already did that. And at this point, you will lose all shield tokens that you have on your character, and we'll move into the next maintenance phase. At this point, there isn't really anything for the maintenance phase. There aren't any cards or abilities doing anything, but now we're going to put our shields back on, so these 2 are both going to gain 2 shields. Oh, there is one thing I have to do during the maintenance phase. We have to change the leader. So the leader is now going to be the Seer. And we will draw back up to 6 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Since I don't have any more I can draw, I will shuffle my deck and draw more cards. So once it's shuffled, we'll get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And because I shuffled my deck, I'm going to gain 1 energy that I can use this turn. So I'll just place it right there for now. Our possessed is also going to gain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's only 5 there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. So we're going to shuffle up her deck as well and get her one more card that she can draw. Now, she doesn't get any extra bonuses when she shuffles her deck. The only thing she's able to do is if during your turn you have not lost sanity or health, I get to gain back a sanity. So if I can somehow go through the round without losing anything, I can be able to heal that sanity damage. Let's see what cards our possessed has. 2 defense, melee attack. We also have another melee attack, does 2 damage. Add 1 attack the enemy is defending, and it also, I got my skill card back as well. Our seer is the leader right now, so she is going to start. So we're going to start by playing the Premeditation card because it's just a free card to play. And I'm going to check to see if I have an attack. I do have an attack, which means this is going to do 2 damage. So at this point, he's going to lose 2. I'm going to attack that one. This person is actually going to attack that person now. And since I just attacked this person, that guy's going to attack her right now. But that could change. At this point, I'm going to pass my activation over to the Possessed. The Possessed is going to start by playing this card, and we're going to use this one to gain 2 energy, leaving myself with still 1 energy. I do get to draw a card when I play this one, and I gained another super awesome attack and card, but I am going to lose sanity if I play it. Remember, our goal is not to lose sanity, but now I just realized I lost 1 sanity by playing that card. So she has already lost 3 sanity, but that's okay. She does have cards in her deck that help her heal that if I want to, or I could keep her to the point where we can get her down to the point where she actually becomes insane. I do get to put weakness onto 2 of the characters. There are only 2 characters left, so we'll just place these 2 tokens onto those characters. And let's see if she wants to continue playing, or should I pass this over to our seer again? I think what I'm going to do is I am going to play 2 energy in order to play this card that allows me to attack 2 and add 1 attack if the enemy is defending. So that's going to do a total of 3 damage to this character. Sadly, the character is still left with 1 health, mainly because it had 2 defense this time instead of 1. The last thing she's going to do is I'm going to pay 2 energy to give myself 2 defense and regain a sanity. That is going to heal me 1. I'll put 2 defense there, and then I have 1 card left. I'm just going to use it for energy to put 2 energy now into my synergy relic. I think our seer is just going to go full on offense here. I'm going to pay 2 cards here to give myself 3 more energy, putting our energy up to 3 that I have. That's going to give me the ability to play this card for 2 energy, attacking for 2, and potentially adding bleed. It is an attack card, so I do get to add bleed to somebody. Then I'm going to pay 1, which is going to knock me out of energy, to attack for 1 and do bleed again. So we're going to have a total of 1, 2, 3 attack and 1 bleed. And I'm going to spend this one to give myself another energy into our relic. I think we might be able to clean house here. We'll see how this goes. I'm going to attack this guy for 2, which is going to bring him up to 3 health in points of damage, so he is dead. Then the next one I did was 1 attack and inflict bleed. I'm going to do 1 damage to that. This will also kill this one off, so we are doing great. We killed everything. Now at this point, we're going to shuffle up our deck. I have an extra energy. I think I forgot to spend it. Oh well, that's okay. We did well. I'm going to shuffle our deck back up and get it ready for our next turn. Now, of course, none of these cards persist. You always reshuffle your deck when going into the next encounter. We do get to keep these. These are going to persist into our next encounter. We also are going to keep any damage that we have as well. We are going to remove this token, and we'll decide who gets that in our next battle. We'll take our deck, give it a good old truffle shuffle here. Now, on top of that, we get to claim the rewards now from this battle. Every time you're able to complete an encounter, we're going to be able to give ourselves some new things. The rewards we get are shown on our setup card, so we're going to gain 2 coins, which is a pool that we can use amongst our characters to spend at our shops. On top of that, you're going to gain a card from either the common or uncommon deck, depending on the highest level of the enemy you fought. So if you fought a common, a minion, a savant level character, you're going to gain 1 common card. If you were to have fought the superior or elite level monster, then you would gain a uncommon card, which are even better. So we're going to gain a common card for our seer. So we're going to shuffle up her common cards here, and we're going to gain 3 of these, or we get to look, I should say, at 3 of these and decide which one we want to keep, and we can put the other one on the bottom. Now, we do have also a few other options besides these cards. If we want to not take any cards, we could gain some more coins, or we could spend coins to be able to see more cards that come out. Also, we would lose 1 sanity as well. So, for example, I wanted to see 4 cards, I could pay 1 coin or 1 sanity to be able to look at more cards. And like I said, if I don't like the cards, I could choose not to take any of them and add 2 coins to the reserve, but I don't think that's going to happen. We've got Sense Condition. This is a melee attack, Divination attack 2. Defense, inflict imprison, or else inflict bleed. So no matter which one I do, I'm going to be able to do good things. This one is Refine Prediction. It's a permanent skill. So permanent skills are super cool. When you play them out, for the remainder of that encounter, they are going to be available for you to use. Though when the encounter's done, then those do get shuffled back into your deck and you have to get them back out in the next encounter. But this one, once per turn, if you fail a divination, you lose 1 sanity and try again, which is pretty good. We got a Sense Condition again. So another thing is you have to see 3 unique cards. So those are only 2 different cards. We also have Tactical Balance. It's a melee attack and defense. Attack 2 and 2 defense. A skill, draw 1 card. Otherwise, if it's not, I can regain 1 sanity. So if I flip over a non-skill card, I could regain 1 sanity. Or if I flip over a skill card, I get to draw a card. Now, I know her deck. She doesn't have any skill cards. I saw that as I was playing through there. I noticed that when we were playing that fight, I noticed she had no skill cards. So I don't know if that's a good one. Not to mention, it's 3 energy, but I could always discard this for 3 energy as well, which would be super good. Having a permanent skill, I think, would be really, really good. And it could come in clutch if you needed to do exactly 1 more damage. And I had this card, and I played, for example, this one right here that does 1 damage, add 1 attack. And I have 2 of those, I could potentially make that always happen, which could be pretty good. I'm not sure. That one's really good. It only cost me 1 to play. The Sense Condition, though, looks pretty good, too, because I can attack for 2 and do extra things. I think we are going to take Refine Prediction. I'm going to take that one into my deck. And now let's see what we can gain for our possessed character. We're going to just shuffle these up as well. A good old truffle shuffle here and place them down. Grab 3 cards and see what we see. These are super fun to see. Defense 2, just straight up. Body reinforcement. Next one, Deployment. Melee attack. Attack 2, up to 2 enemies or 3 enemies if you are wounded. If you do not deal any damage, character loses 1 sanity. Ooh, that's no good. Oh, same one. Okay, we got 2 of the same. Let's draw another card then to see what the next one is. We got Think Twice. Oh, that's a skill. Inflict 2 weakness up to 2 enemies targeting you. Now, if you notice down here, this says GE -1. That's gained energy. If I played this card to get energy, I would only gain 1 from it because it would be at -1. There are other cards in our deck, or that we could potentially get, that is going to have GE +1 in here, I'm sure. I wouldn't see why they wouldn't. Yeah, there's one right there. So for example, Self-Control. If I was able to get this in my deck, I could discard it for 2 energy because its energy generation is +1. All right, we have to figure out what we want here. I don't know about this defense card. I haven't really used defense too much. I think being able to attack 2 different enemies is really good. I think that's fantastic. I'm going to take that card. There's no reason not to. Though this is really good too. Inflict 2 to up to 2 enemies targeting you. That goes really good with that other attack card I have. They have to be targeting you though. Okay, you know what? We're going to gain the skill card. I think that'll be fun to play. We'll try that one out and see how it goes. Now that I've chosen my cards, the other cards are going to go to the bottom of the deck. And we move into our next encounter. I'll be shuffling up those cards, so they'll be in there. I'm super pumped to even try just 1 new card. It's the best part about deck builders. At this point, I am going to place down one of our markers because we were able to complete that, so I can put that here. Now, if I wanted to, I could travel along this road now to this area here and draw another card. But I think I want to go to this event section over here. I'm going to do an event and see what happens. So we're going to take our Arkham events. We're going to give them a good old truffle shuffle here and see which ones we get. We're going to draw this one. This is our event. We have found Brute Strength, Combat, Challenge, defeat all enemies without playing any skill cards. If I'm able to do that, characters are going to be able to regain 2 sanity. That's hilarious. I just bought a skill card. This is a cool thing about this game. These are going to potentially, they could be combats, or these could also be things that you're going to have to test to see if you're able to get through them. But for this one, we have a combat now. So we're going to go back to our combat card and figure out what we're going to be attacking. Since we're going into phase 2, we're going to fight a a common and 2 minions this time. And we have a special challenge that we have to try to do. If we don't do it, of course, we're going to lose 2 sanity. But if we do it, we get to gain 2 sanity. So there's usually some good and bad things about these events, but I think that's kind of a neat thing that they put in the game, that you can have a chance at these kind of cool things. So we'll draw out our enemies. We have a common and 2 minions this time, and we'll see what we have to deal with. The first one is an Undertaker. He's just a normal dude, but he looks like he's going to die on turn 2 or 3 because look, he only has 3 shields the first time, he doesn't have any. The next one we have is going to be our hunting dog. This guy looks bad. I don't want to deal with him. He's going to have to die. And then we got this giant plant creature. Once per round, if it's dealt damage, it inflicts bleed 1 to all characters. Oh, yuck. Okay, so we'll put these in initiative order, which means that is going to go there. So we have all our characters in initiative order. This guy has to go right away. He's going to do 4 damage. He has no defense, and he's going to, at the beginning of the round, inflict bleed 1. These ones are just going to gain some shields, and of course it's going to do bleed if it is dealt damage. How would you not deal damage to that thing? All right. We now have to decide who is going to be our leader. I think our leader this time is going to be the Seer. We'll see how this goes. See how I did that? That was a joke. Seer, see how this goes. So at that point, we do know that that is going to be the target there. And at the present time, with 11 health, that is going to be the target as well. Maybe I should have probably switched that around a little bit. But I'm not too worried. Our target is this. If we can do 4 damage to this, this is going to be gone, and then I'll just have to worry about those 2. Being the leader, we're going to start by grabbing her cards. We're going to give them a good old truffle shuffle here. We're going to get the new card. That'd be awesome if we got a new card. We're going to draw 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See what we have found. We found that 0 premonition, which is great. Corpse in the making. We have edge, expectations, defensive sight, and we did get our refined prediction, which is going to be awesome because I can play that card and then just start, and I can play this for free, and we'd almost always make sure we get that extra attack, which is going to be awesome. But I just remembered I don't want to play skill cards or I'm going to lose 2 sanity because that's the challenge. So we'll probably just be using that for energy this game. Oh, that's so sad. I got a new card and I can't even get to use it. Let's draw our cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's see what card she has gotten. She got Scare Away, the Peace, Whiplash, Liberation. We also got Whiplash, and we've got Hold. So those are the cards that she is going to gain. Next, we're going to add our defense tokens to these. He has 3, which is out of control, and the other character has 2. Now, the bleed effect on this enemy, according to how it is written as in the rules now, it could, of course, all this be subject to change. This looks like it would happen like when the defense stuff does, but no, this is going to happen when the attack happens. Then whoever this attacks is going to gain bleed. So we want to make sure we take this thing out right away. This I'm not too worried about because it's only going to do 1 damage. So as long as I get 1 shield onto my Seer, I should be just fine. And this is just going to do 2 damage this round. So unless we have a lot of extra damage we can spill over to this, we're probably just going to take this enemy out this turn, mainly because I kind of want to take this guy out in 1 fell swoop as well, because this is going to happen once per round. If it's dealt damage, it inflicts bleed to all characters. And I really don't want to take a ton of bleed, so if I hit it now and take bleed, and then I hit it again and take bleed, there's going to be lots of bleed. So we are going to start with our Seer, and since I could use this, but I'm going to choose not to. We're going to start by gaining 1 energy for that card. I'm going to place that over here. I don't want to get it mixed up with the synergy energy. This we're going to play for 0. We're going to use our divination, and see what we have. We did get an attack card, so that means we're going to be able to do 2 damage. And we're going to start piling onto that dog who has no defense. So he's going to take 2 damage, which then he only has 2 left. Now we did use that energy to play that. Oh, we didn't use energy to play that card because that card's free. So I do have 1 energy still up there. Moving back over here, I'm going to discard my attack card to give myself 2 energy for our relic. Then I'm going to pay the 1 energy that I had over here to give myself 1 defense and add 1 defense. You've already tried to divine this turn, and I tried to divine with that card. So I'm going to gain 2 defense onto my character, which is going to be pretty good. I think I'm going to need that. At this point, I'm going to send it back over to our possessed character. Now, before I do that, I lied. I am going to use this card to use the 2 energy onto our relic, saving these 2 cards for our character. The possessed is going to use this card to put 2 more energy into her relic as well. Then she's going to spend 2 energy to play Whiplash, which is going to do attack 2 and add 1 attack if the enemy is defending. Now, I know I said I wasn't probably going to hit this guy, but I'm going to hit this guy. I'm going to do 2 damage and hit this guy for 1. That means that I'm going to gain a bleeding token on both of my characters because it's the first time that this enemy was hit this round. At this point, I'm going to use my relic. I'm going to spend the energy on it to be able to gain 4 energy. So she now has 4 energy that she can spend. She loses a sanity, means she goes down to 3 sanity, but that's okay. All other characters are going to gain 2 energy because, of course, we do have our relic over here totally powered up. So I'm going to put 2 energy over with our seer as well. With all of this energy, she's going to play pretty much everything else she has. I'm going to play both of these cards. This one is going to give me 2 defense and regain 1 sanity. So we're going to get rid of our sanity and put 2 defense on her. And this one, again, is going to be able to attack for 2 and add 1 if the enemy is defending. Looking at our enemies, I didn't mention this, a defending enemy is any enemy that has shields. So if I go to attack this one, it would do 2 damage plus the 1 because it's defending. Hitting this one would only do 2 damage and it's not defending, so it wouldn't get the extra bonus, but that's okay. I'm going to kill this dog for 2 damage. And over here on this character, I am going to activate her relic as well. I'm going to discard our 4 energy, which is then going to discard all conditions and inflict the same amount among creatures, and I can decide the type. I have a lot of defense right now, so I'm not too worried about that. So I'm actually just going to pass that bleed token back over to this. Hopefully that'll be enough to be able to take this thing out. I do have the 2 energy from my possess that gave me from that relic. So I'm going to do another 2 damage, and I can check to see if it's going to fire off. I got a defense, so that means there is no effect. I do not get the extra bonus. I only get to do 2 damage, which means I've done 3 damage to this enemy right now. Now, of course, I should probably also continue reading this card, lose 1 sanity, and then gain 1 energy for each condition discarded. So since I did discard an energy, I do get to pass 1 energy over to my possessed because that's the bonus here. Oh, I lied. It's not the bonus. I don't get this because her relic is no longer powered up. I don't get the extra bonus for this. I just get the one about moving things. So I do have to take 1 sanity damage, though, bringing mine to 2. Now, I still have this card. I don't get to use it, which is sad because if I would have gotten the premonition to activate off of this, I would have probably killed the thing. Attack 1, inflict 1, bleed. That would still attack 1, inflict 1. Yeah, it would still not be enough. Dang it, that's too bad. Oh, well. Sad city. Okay. That's the end of our turn. Now, of course, if I would have been able to play my skill card, I could have done another one of those to see if I could have actually had it happen. So this is super cool. There's so many different things I want to do in the game. All right, that's the end of our round. Now, of course, I failed here again. This is... This person is going to attack the seer because the seer was the last one to inflict damage. I could have probably rigged that a little, switched the actions back and forth, and maybe I could have had it be the seer because the seer does have 2 defense. But I'm going to get attacked for 3 damage, and I only have 2 defense, so I am going to take 1 damage onto my seer. So we'll place our token onto her character card, and I'm going to be able to do another damage to this because of the bleed. Now, the sad thing is I am going to have to deal with more bleed because of that ability that I wasn't able to kill this character all off in 1 turn. Our possessed is also going to take 1 damage from the bleeding token that they have, and I'm going to discard it. Moving into the next round, we are going to get ready. I'm going to switch our leader token over to the seer, or sorry, the possessed. The possessed has 9 health. Our seer still has 10. So our seer is going to be the one that is going to be attacked by the Undertaker, but that thing's probably not going to last. In the last turn, I still had this card. I could have gotten rid of it for energy, but energy doesn't persist into the next round, and I had already put energy onto this from another card, so I couldn't do it again. You can only do it once per round. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards for her. Let's see what she has. Probably enough to take almost all these people out here. 2 attack and 2 defense. If I want to play it, they get 2 defense. More attack, 1 attack. I can't play that. 1 attack, so I'm going to be doing probably a total of 3 damage with her. And if we move over to the seer, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we'll shuffle up our deck. I'm going to gain 1 energy because of that. And we're going to get 1 more card, 6. Let's see how much damage. She's probably able to take out the rest of this, I bet. Yeah, okay, we're going to be just fine. I'm going to take out all the people, but I might lose some more damage from bleed, which is going to be awesome. She is first. She's going to use this card to gain 2 energy and play these 2 cards there, which is going to do 2 damage. Then she's going to play this card that's going to give her 2 energy, play that one that's going to do 1 damage. That's enough to take this character out. That one is done. I still have 1 energy left, and I can't really play this card. Then I think that's about all I'm going to be able to do. All right, that's it for her. Totally fine. Meanwhile, over here, all I have to do is 3 damage. We're going to play that one to attack and premonition. We got another attack, so that's good. We did 2 damage, and I'm going to gain a bleeding token because of that. So we'll put a bleeding token on her card. Then I'm going to attack for 1 using this, which is going to be enough to do 3 damage. And this enemy has 1, 2, and then 1 more will kill it. So our minion is also destroyed. And because we were successful, since all the health is at 0, there will be no end of turn or round effects. So these are not going to activate from what I understand. I could be wrong, but that is how I read it. We're going to go on to we're going to claim our rewards. The rewards, again, are going to be 2 coins. We'll place them here. Hopefully we can find a shop pretty soon and we can spend them. I do get a new common card. So we're going to take our 3 cards from the seer and see what we have found. We've got double intention, blind faith, and we have perception. All right, double intention. It's another permanent skill. I get a lot of these out. At the start of your turn, inflict 1 bleed to all enemies. If you discard this card, trying to divine, inflict 1 bleed. Oh, that's really good. Melee attack, divination. Attack 3. All your divinations succeed this turn. And you are dealt 1 damage. Oh, that'd be bad. So we want to try to get our other permanent card out to make that almost always happen. Perception, 1 defense, 3, and gain 1 energy. So this is almost be like paying for it for only 1 cost. That's right. I want blind faith. I really want to do some damage. Oh, this double intention is really good as well. She's got some really awesome cards that combo pretty well together. I think that's really awesome. So imagine getting this and then being able to play your 0 cards for free, which means that every time you do these 0 cards, if you succeed on that, you're going to be able to do 2 damage every turn you play this for free. And if I can get this out, I would be able to have 2 chances at making that work. Oh my gosh, that'd be super good. At the start of your turn, inflict bleed on all enemies. That's super good too. That means you're automatically doing 1 damage to everybody. I think straight damage is going to be what we're going to go for. I'm going to put these on the bottom, but that permanent effect looks really good. Oh, so many cool cards. Let's see what she gets. 1, 2, 3. We'll draw these, see what we have. We have combo. Let's see what we got. Self-control, presence, and combo. So self-control is a skill. It says single use, regain 1 sanity. If you are not insane, gain 2 defense, and this I could use to get 2 energy if I want. That's good. This one, permanent skill. If you play 2 different attack cards, deal 2 damage to an enemy. That's good. And then melee attack defense, attack 1 and defense 1. Oh, and that is also going to be able to inflict, I think it's confusion. Not confusion, sorry, it's stun. It's going to be stun. And if an enemy has that affliction, that means we get to choose when it goes into its attack phase who it gets to attack. I do also want to point out at this point, I'm also digging the art on this card. The card art is really good on these. They look really cool. I mean, just look at all the tentacles that she has because she's possessed. All this stuff is coming out and attacking. I think that's really cool. And of course, the seer with all of her different like mind things and the things that she has that keeps her going. I think the cards look really cool. I'm really excited for them. I think they have a really good amount of picture plus the words are really easy to read on them. It's going to be a lot to get this out, but I think I want to go with the combo card, though both of these are really good. Again, I'm just talking about how good these cards are. They all look really good. All right, we're going to shuffle that into her deck, so she'll be all set for our next encounter. And since we were able to successfully complete the challenge, we get to regain 2 sanity, bringing her sanity to nothing. And also we're going to heal all the sanity on our seer as well. That worked out really well. I'm going to discard this card and we're going to move on to our board here. Now at this point I could move down to another combat encounter if I wish to, or I could move to another card. I'm going to move to another card and see what we find. So I'm going to take this token and I could move all the way back through this. If I move back through one that I've already gone through, my characters lose 1 sanity. Though, if I move onto one of these, I can see what's over on this side. And you cannot move through ones that you have not completed. But like I said, if you move through a completed one, that's totally fine, but you're going to take 1 sanity for moving through one you've already completed. Let's go this way. I'm going to move up into this corner here. We're going to flip over our next card. And what we see on this card is these 2 blue ones here. That means that I can match this up in any way I want as long as one of the blue ones is on the area that I decided to leave from. So we're going to line it up like that. So our character is coming in like this, which means we could do another event. Now, if I wanted to, I could line it up like that, which gives ourselves multiple ways of getting through here, which actually might be a smarter thing to do. I think we're going to do it that way. That'd be a little bit smarter. So I could go to a combat encounter, or I could do another event, which are kind of cool. Those events are kind of new. I think we're going to do a combat encounter first, and then maybe we'll do another event as we go forward here. Let's go right up there. Going into phase 3, we're going to be fighting 4 different enemies. We're going to be fighting 2 common enemies, so we have them right here, and we're going to be fighting 2 more minions. So we'll put them right here. So we'll draw these in this order. The first one is going to be the Fanatic. The next one is going to be a Rabid Beast. That's pretty awesome. We'll get a closer look at all these in just a second. Corrupted is going to be one of our minions, and then our next one is going to be a Host. So let's take a look at those 4 monsters. These guys look awesome. All right, the first one is the Fanatic. I'm not too worried about him. He's just going to go after whoever is going to be our leader. This is the Rabid Beast. Whoever attacked him last is going to be taking damage. Let's see here. This person has 3. He's going to do 3. He's going to gain 1 shield. You know, I'm just going to put the shields on these guys right now. He has 2 shields. This beast has 1 shield. This Corrupted has 1 shield. And this person has 3 shields. All right. And the Corrupted minion has 6 health, is going to attack the person with the highest sanity. At this point, that is going to be her, so I'll place that there. And the one with the lowest health is also going to be our Possessed, so I think our leader is going to be our Seer this turn, because we already have 2 going after her. And that's not going to be good. So she's already taking 5 damage. And it says, if it receives damage and is not defeated by the end of the round, swap it for a random Savant. And Savants are more powerful than that guy. So we have to make sure we can deal the damage to this guy. I don't think this is the person we have to deal with yet. I think we want to try to take him out when he has only the 1 shield. So I think our Corrupted Beast inflicts bleed 1 if it damages a character. We need to take that guy out, and I think maybe we can try to get this guy as well, since they both only have 1 shield, and the other ones become weaker in the next round. Our Seer is going to draw 6 cards. First, we're going to give her deck a Truffle Shuffle, because I can't remember if I did that after I bought the card, and I don't just want it sitting on top. Actually, I do want it sitting on top, but it just wouldn't be fair now, wouldn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 cards. I've got Corpse in the Making, Predemonition, Defensive Sight, Blind Faith, Predemonition. I think I grabbed 7, didn't I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I just apparently don't know how to count. Corrupted Making, Premonition, Defensive Sight, Blind Faith, Premonition. Oh no, and Edge. Sadly, they did not come out in the order I was hoping. Remember, we wanted to try to get that other card that gives us the ability to do it a couple times, and that could have really made a chance at getting the other one out that allows us to do things for free. A lot of talking in there. But I was hoping for a certain combo out of that, and it didn't work. But that's okay. We'll hopefully make it happen next time. We're going to shuffle up her cards as well and gain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got 6 cards here. We have Scare Away. We have her Liberation, which will help us. We have Hold, Whiplash, and Subjugate. Sadly, we didn't get any of our fun cards this time. Okay, we're going to kind of risk it a little bit here. The Seer is going to take out the Rabid Beast in 1 shot. I'm going to play that to give me 2 energy to play my Blind Faith card. It's a Divination. Let's see what happens. I need an attack card. Come on, attack card. Yes, it's an attack card. Oh, that's so good. So at this point, I'm able to do 3 damage to the Rabid Beast. The Rabid Beast only has 1 shield and 2 health, so that enemy is dead. We're moving into the next round of combat, but before we do that, I did forget to put these in order, so this one should have actually moved down. This one's already dead. This one is number 1, 2, and no wait, sorry, I did have them right. This one is a 2, so this one actually is just going to stay right there. Okay, I did have it right. Okay. Funny enough, I had it right. This person is attacking the leader, this person attacking, there we go. Okay, we have everything right now. Okay, There we go. Let's continue on with that Seer. And the Seer is going to do 4 damage because both of these are going to succeed. I don't even think all your divinations succeed this turn. I'm not sure if I still draw the cards. I'm going to still draw the cards for them because, of course, that helps me out. That is going to succeed to do 2 damage. The next one I'll draw here, that is going to succeed to do 2 damage. So 1 damage off of him. And that means we're going to do 3 damage to this enemy. There's only 3 left on it. Hopefully we can take that out. But it's not going to be the Seer doing it. The Seer is going to pay 1 energy to be able to put Defensive Sight out, which is going to give us 2 defense because I've already tried to divine this turn. I think what we're going to do is I am going to pay 2 to be able, and 1 to give me 3 energy. These are both going to give me 3 energy total to be able to play these 2 cards here, which is going to attack for 1, add 1 for each of these the enemy has. I'm not going to do that. I know I have the skill card, but I'm not going to use it this turn. And I'm going to do 2 damage and add 1 if the attacker is defending. Now, that means I'm going to do 3 damage to this. That's all I'm going to do, and that's totally fine. I'm not taking advantage of a lot of the stuff the cards could do, but I don't have enough damage to really affect a lot of what they have already, and we're going to try to take those guys out in the next round. So all I'm going to do instead is give myself 2 defense and heal 1 sanity. And I don't have any sanity damage at the time, so I'm just going to grab 2 defense for our character. These 2 are going to do 2 damage to both of our characters, and I have 2 defense for both my characters, so they're not going to take any damage this round. We're going to move into the next round, which means his defense is going to go to 1, and our host's defense, more importantly, is going to go to 1 as well. This is going to change to that, which is not going to be the greatest. So we're going to be passing our leader token over to the possessed. So we do have to take these guys out this turn, or she's going to get hit for a lot of damage. Looks like we hit for 7 damage. Let's draw our cards for the possessed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hopefully she got some good ones. She got the defense and be able to regain sanity if I remove conditions. Got a couple of those. Those are going to turn into cards I use for points. Oh, look at this. On the turn, I get my permanent skill. If you play 2 different attack cards, deal 2 damage to an enemy. I don't have 2 attack cards in my hand. I only have skill cards and defense cards and 1 attack card. That's absolutely hilarious. On a time I need to do a lot of damage and I don't have it. All right, mental note, I buy her damage cards next time. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I get to shuffle these up, grab another card out of here. Hopefully it's that 3 damage card. That would be awesome because we really need some damage to come out of these guys this turn. But the good news is they're both attacking the possessed, so if she just goes straight damage, that's okay. There we go, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. She got expectations. 1 damage card again. Oh no, this is going to be really bad. I don't know what we're going to do about this. I'm going to try to soften the blow a little bit here. For our possessed, I'm just going to have her play right away here. I'm going to have her play this card and this card to give me 4 defense, or 4 energy, I apologize. We're going to play this one first, which is going to do 2 attack and 2 defense. I'm going to lose 1 sanity, so we'll place this onto our character board, but we're going to lose that sanity here in just a second, because I am going to now play, I'm going to use 2 energy, or I already had played 2 energy, to play this one. Now I'm going to play 2 energy to play that one, which is going to allow me to gain 2 defense and heal myself a sanity. So we're going to give ourselves 2 defense for our character. I did get to deal 2 damage. I'm going to remove this 1 and put 1 damage onto that guy. I still have 2 left. I'm not going to use this. I'm instead going to put 2 energy onto our relic. So those are the cards I think I'm going to play. Let's see here. 1, 2. No, I played this one to play this one, so that's 2. I played this one to play this one, that's 2. Oh, actually, I did, oh yeah, then I have to play this one to play that one. There we go. Okay, oh, I'm going to put 2 of these on. That's going to be awesome. All right, we're not going to put anything on the relic, I lied. I'm going to place 2 of these on there. I can inflict up to 2 weakness for up to 2 enemies targeting you, and they are both targeting her at this point. So that's a great play right now. So those were the 6 cards we played. They all had 2 energy costs. That's kind of cool. I hope you're able to follow that. I might have been a little fast on that one. So basically, I used these 3 for 6 energy to be able to play this one to give me 2 and lose a sanity, but then I played this one to gain back my sanity, and then I'm also playing this one to put some weakness onto our enemies. That was our possessed. Now we're going to go to our seer and see what she can do. Our seer is going to use 3 energy from these cards to play Corpse in the Making, which is a divination, so I will flip over a card here. We did get another attack card, so I'm going to be able to do Inflict Bleed and Attack 2. I only needed to 2 damage to this, so this character is dead. That's all we're going to do to that one. I don't have to inflict the bleed status because he's already dead. That is the end of that. We're then going to use the other energy we got out of the 3 to put our permanent skill into play. And then I have 2 left, and we're just going to use that energy to power up our relic and give our relic 2 energy. And that's the end for our seer. This enemy is going to do 4 damage, minus 2 is 2 to our possessed. Our possessed does have 2 defense, so we don't have to worry about any damage being taken. We're going to remove that token and go into the next round, which means now this vile thing, which I was hoping to kill this round, now has 3 shields. Okay, guys, if you ever needed attack cards, now is the time to get them. We're going to move our leader token back over here, and I forgot to gain my energy for shuffling the deck, but that's okay. There really wasn't much else I could do. I used the 2 from one of my cards anyway to get my energy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hopefully there's Attack City in here. Attack card, attack cards. I need attack cards. Oh, there we go. 1, 2, 3. Oh, they're all there. Okay, so good. We got good attack cards. Okay, that's awesome. She's powered up. I'm pretty excited about that. Next, she better get some attack cards too. 1, 2. And we'll shuffle up all these cards for her. Now, I do want to mention that we're going into round 3. If I'm not able to kill that guy by the end of this round, we'll be adding a common enemy to the enemy pool there. So we do want to try to take this guy out this turn. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No defense. No defense. We don't want any defense. I got lots of defense and some skill cards. Okay, but at least I can inflict some stuff onto these guys. Oh, actually, this is going to be really good. Okay, she's going to be awesome too. We're going to start by paying 2 energy in order to be able to play Blind Faith. Blind Faith is divination, attack 3. We're going to flip over our card, and we got an attack card. That's awesome. All right, and since I don't have anything, I'm going to have to shuffle up my deck here, and then I will be able to gain 1 energy because I've shuffled my deck, which is awesome. We'll put our energy token right there and do 3 damage. 3 damage right here was key, which means this now does 2 damage because it is an auto success no matter what that card is. It was still a success. That's pretty awesome. And I also have 2 more attack cards here, but I only have 1 energy, but that's okay. I've got lots of attack cards over here. I'm going to pay 2 attack to do 2 damage, just using that. And then I could even put this thing out, which means since I did 2 damage from 2 different attack cards, I can do 2 damage. I'm easily going to be doing 4 damage to this thing. This thing is super dead. Now, if I was smart, I would have tried to figure out a way, and I did. I figured out a way to make sure that I could actually give 2 energy to both of our relics as well during this round, being able to take this guy out and power up our relics at the same time. Time to get some rewards. I had 4 on here. I'm going to get 3 more, so I just took 2 off, and we're going to add a 5, bringing our total to 7, which is fantastic. We need to find a place. We could heal ourselves. Actually, we're doing pretty good. The other thing we could do is we could start getting some more common cards, which are super good. We can fill up our deck, or we can start removing cards as well. Get some of those other cards out of there. There's a lot of things we can do in our deck builder game here that we're doing. On top of that, remember, if you had some points at the beginning, you could have added things to that shop that could have gave you more options moving forward in this game. Of course, we have to find a shop first. I do get some cool new cards. Let's grab 1, 2, 3 and see what we have found. We have found ourselves another one of our Refine Premonitions. We're probably not going to get that. Prediction, sorry. Rearrange Destiny. That looks awesome. Melee attack and defense. Attack 1 and defense 1. If you discard this card trying to divine, gain 1 energy. Attack 1 and defense 1. Oh, that's really cool. So if it actually comes up as something that this is better as a divine card. Then we have melee attack. Attack 3, inflict 1 bleed and vulnerability, lose 1 status. Or sanity, sorry. That's a really good card too. Oh, this is super tough to do. Now, this would help a lot in all of our divinations because it's both an attack and a defense card. So if I'm looking for an attack, it's going to come up. This would also be an attack. This I'm not going to get because we already have one of those. I don't think we need that. This is so tough. Look at these cards. These cards are so good. The chances of this actually coming up in a divination is pretty pretty much non-existent. I'm going to go for that melee attack. I think still getting damage out is going to be good. I think that's going to be really good. We're going to get rid of that card. Our seer has become just straight up damage, a straight up damageaholic. 1, 2, 3. We're going to see what our seer can get. Our seer can either gain self-control, anticipation, so melee attack, defense, attack 2, the enemy attack, attack 2 if the enemy attacks, defense 2 if the enemy defends. Interesting. And then we have oh, look at this, 5 attack. 5 attack, lose 2 sanity. I'm not too worried about losing 2 sanity. We've been doing pretty good at that. Skill, single use gain. Yeah, I'm going to take the siege card. That's super bonkers. Look at that. 5 attack. That's so good. And we have that other one in our thing that allows us to do 2 more damage if we play multiple attack cards. I guess both of our characters are becoming attackaholics. We'll place our new encounter token down here with number 3, and now we get to move again. So like I said before, we got a lot of places we can go. We go to the event, we go here, we could move all the way back through here down over to another card if we want. As long as we do not run into one of these, we can kind of go wherever we want. But I want to keep on exploring this, so I'm going to go up. I can go up onto this brown here. Now, I'm hoping to demonstrate there might not be a brown up there. Well, there's a brown. Well, it looks like we're going there. Okay, so we're going to put our brown here. Now, if I had drawn this and there wasn't this brown part here, I would have to pay a sanity and draw again and see if we got another card that would match that. So there is, so you're not just blocked off if you can't. You do have to pay a sanity and you draw another card. Now, if there are any cards to draw, then, well, you're kind of out of luck and you found a dead end. I'm going to go here into this event next because we also have a shop way up here, which is going to be, I really want to get to too because we have so much money to spend. I'm going to go here. We're going to draw another Arkham event and see what we have found. We have found ourselves Turn of Events. Wounded characters gain 2 health. Insane characters gain 2 sanity. If they're not wounded or not insane, we deal 1 damage and deal 1 insanity. Oh no, that's... That's kind of funny. So our characters are each going to take 1 damage each because they are not insane and they are not wounded. So they both have taken 2 damage. I also have to take 1 sanity each because our characters do not have, are not insane. So we're going to have to take that damage as well. Now, interestingly enough, that does finish off that encounter. So at this point, now that we're at 4, which is different since we're doing since we are doing this prototype, normally you would have to reach a progress of 6 and 9 to be able to start moving into the end game. 6 gives you the ability to kind of heal up a little bit, and then 9 would bring out our card. But since this is, since we're playing the prototype, it's supposed to be 4, so we're going to put down this on, you're going to take the card at, if you had normally 9 progress, you would then take this set aside card and place it on next to the card that you're on. Now that doesn't mean that I have to go to him right now, but you still have a ticking clock. In the normal game, you would have to get to this by round 12. If you're not on that by round 12, then you have lost the game. But for the prototype, the way it works is I have to get there by 6. So I'm thinking of going here for 5, then 6, and then going over here. So we can get the shop, and then we can fight 1 more dude, and then we can go to here. That's going to be my plan. We're going to go up to the shop and see what we can find. Well, actually, I know what we can find. We can buy some stuff. With 7 coins, we are each going to buy a common card, and we are each going to buy and remove a card from our deck. So we're going to purchase 1 available per character and shop and remove 1 available per character and shop. So we're both going to gain another common card. 1, 2, 3. Let's see what we have found. We have found ourselves Siege again. We found ourselves Presence, and we found Beginning of the End. Melee attack. Attack equals your missing sanity up to 7. I'm not going to take that because we're actually doing pretty good in sanity. Notice, like I said, a lot of her stuff has to do with taking sanity, but I kind of been not doing as much as I normally thought I would be. Attack and defense and inflict. That's not bad. Or another siege card. I think I am going to take Presence this time, and we're going to get rid of our siege card. That's okay. We already have 1 siege card in our deck, and this will give us the ability as attack and defense. I can get both and inflict, stun, which allows us to choose who the bad guys are going to fight. Let's check out our super powerful seer here, see what she has found. She found herself Tactical Retreat, Perception, and Base Movement. I can attack 2 or defense 2 depending on what I gain for my divination, either attack or defense. Then we can, I see, I've drawn, depending on what I get defense. Get it, defense. 3, gain energy. This is a single use. Discard all bleeding tokens from an enemy and regain 1 health for each and lose a sanity. I don't want Tactical Retreat. This Perception actually looks pretty good. I think I'm going to take Perception. I think the 3 defense and potentially getting that energy as well is going to be really good. So those are the cards we bought. Now we get to destroy a card from our deck. I'm going to destroy this one from her deck, and I'm going to destroy Expectations from her deck. I haven't used either of those cards in any of the plays we've done so far. Now I'm going to place another token down on our map, and I may have just misspoke the way when I thought about what I said, it wasn't exactly the most obvious way of doing it. I can do up to 6 encounters before I have to take on Cthulhu. It's not that I've done 6 that I'm not going to be able to do it. So we are going to go fight one more time. Now I do want to show you one more thing. There is a portal on here. Portals can connect, and you do not take sanity if you go from a portal over to a portal. Say like there's a portal down here. I could move from that portal to this portal without having to come back through my already done things, already done events, and taken any sanity damage. Portals are pretty awesome. But I'm going to go down here and do this encounter, this combat encounter first, and then we're going to go take on Cthulhu and see if we can do this. Now, again, this is a lot slimmed down version of the game. This game is actually going to take about 3 times as long when playing it, because like I said, you're not going to get 6. You're going to do 12 of these before you need to take him on. On top of that, you have to remember that this is going to have a higher difficulty because it's a roguelite game, so you're not going to be able to get to him your first try. The difficulty of this game is probably going to keep you from doing that the first game. I haven't seen the full game in action, but they're saying in the pamphlets and the instructions that I've got that this game is near impossible to do on your first play. You're going to have to do it more than once because that's where you get that roguelite element. You're going to gain those points that you can upgrade your character. Before I move too much farther, I've been talking about these points, but I haven't been showing you anything that has to do with them. And I'm not even sure if I'm supposed to show you this, but I think this is such an integral part of the game that I wanted to give you an idea of what you can be doing with these points you're going to be gaining as you go through the game. So, for example, you can spend 1 to start with a max initial health of +1, or even +2, same with sanity. Here's some of the other cool things. You can get a common random card in your deck. You can grab a common card among 3 by playing 3 of these. And so you may end a game with 7 points, and then you can even start with 2 coins. And so I could start with 2 coins. I could unlock class items in the store and maybe do something where I get a class item for free, a random one, and then get a synergy relic random as well. In the normal game, you normally do not start with these. It's because the prototype, and they wanted to show off a lot of the different parts of the game, that they told me to use one of those in the playthrough. But here's just so many different things that you can do. And imagine getting enough points to be able to do almost all of these. Your character's going to become really powerful off the start and be able to get really close, if not take on the boss, and hopefully take him out if you get all those done. But who knows? It's still supposed to be a pretty tough game, and that makes me excited because I love games that have a lot of challenge to them. Now, I have no money left because we spent it all, but now we get to take on 2 minions. Oh, we're in phase 6. We're going into our 6th one here. So we're going to do a common, a minion, and we're also going to do a savant. I think this will be a really fun fight. Now we've gone through all the common and minion cards, so these are going to be ones we've already seen. We have ourselves a chaplain. We have a, oh no, this guy again with the bleeding tokens. That guy's terrible. We have a corrupted, and then our savant is the exemplifier. Look at this guy. This guy looks super cool. He's going to attack the person with the lowest sanity. He has 7 health. Now this symbol right here, that's protection. This is going to give him defense during the maintenance phase equal to the protection value. I don't think there's anything we can do about that. So he's actually going to start with 2 defense tokens already because of his protection that he has. This one is going to start with 1. The rest of these are going to start with 2 each. So hopefully we'll be able to break through this defense and take a couple of these guys out. We've seen this guy, if attacked, character loses 1 sanity. This is once per round when it's dealt damage, inflicts bleed to everybody. This guy just is bad. And this guy, if it deals damage to a character, attack to another random character. So if it deals damage to 1, it's going to deal 2 to another one. And look at this. It does 5 damage, and on top of that, it's going to give 2 weakness. That's horrible. The next round, though, it's going to have 4 defense, and then it's going to have 2 defense and do 6 damage. I really think we should try to take this guy out right away, but this damage is all going to start stacking up if we concentrate all our attacks on that. We're going to make our seeker, or not our seeker, our possess the starting player here. We'll give her deck a good old truffle shuffle. Hopefully get some of those. I really want besieged right now. That would really help out a lot. Let's see, we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And of course, like I said, we took out 1 card, so hopefully it'll be easier to see stuff. 2 deck, 2 attack. We have scare away, subjugate, and a combo. Okay, so we might be able to. Oh, we can't quite get that to fire unless I can somehow get her an energy from somewhere. Oh, I could be able to get a lot of energy from this, maybe. We'll see what we can do. Our seer is going to shuffle up her cards as well. Give me a good old truffle shuffle here, and we'll see what we draw. Hopefully some 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hopefully some good ones here. Come on, I need some good ones. We got premonition, defense. We got blind faith. That's fantastic. Oh, we got this one in there too. Oh, it's gonna be so good. Oh, I can get some defense over there. All right, we need to try to find we need to get 1 energy to the other person. That's what we need to do. I have this ready to go, but I don't have any status tokens, so it's not really gonna help me too much. Here's what we're going to do. We'll see if this works. I am going to play 2 to give myself 2 energy, and I'm going to use that to power this relic up. Then I'm going to use the relic. We're going to get rid of the charges on it to gain 4 energy. So she's going to get 4 energy that she can use. And other characters are going to gain 2 energy because I do have her relic fully powered as well. Sadly, I haven't really been able to use hers as much because I've been really good at not getting conditions, which is good. So I'm going to gain 4 energy for that, giving me the ability to play almost all these cards. It's going to be super cool. So we're going to play this one first, which is going to cost 2. It's a permanent skill. If you play 2 different attack cards, deal 2 damage to 2 different enemies. I think we're going to lose some sanity this round because I'm going to lose 2 sanity here for playing both of these. Here's 2 energy here, and I'm going to use that to play the other card. So that's going to be 4 damage plus 4 defense. I don't know if I'm going to need that much defense. I'll just put a 3 there for now. I'll get some defense back. I'm sure I can find some defense as we go through this. But he's going to do 2, 4, 5, 6 damage. If you played 2 different attack cards, deal 2 damage to an enemy. So we're going to do 2, 4, 6 and gain 4 defense. And then I'm just going to discard this unless I can get an energy from our seer. We'll see if we can do that. I'm just going to place this down here. That'll be the only card I have left. For how much I want to take something out that's attacking the seer, we have to take this out. So I'm going to do a total of 6 damage to this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I've done 4 damage to this monster. The monster only has 4 left. Wow. So it had 9 total defense with the damage with the defense on there. Yuck. Well, okay. Hopefully that's enough that I was able to break it open so that I can have my seer take over. First, we're going to play our card here. It's going to cost me 1 energy. And then we're going to start going for it here. I'm going to pay 2 to play my blind faith. I'm going to use, I think I'm just going to use sense danger. I think that's the card I'm going to use to gain 2 energy to do that, leaving myself with this 1 hanging out. That's totally fine. We're going to do a divination and see what happens. I get to draw this. It's an attack card, so I don't even have to use that. That's fantastic. So now all of my divinations are going to be successful. So I'm going to do 3, 4, 5 damage. That's going to be awesome. We'll do 5 damage right now. So we'll start by doing 3 damage here, which does kill this monster. That guy was going to be a brutal monster to have to deal with if I couldn't have got rid of him. Now I have 2 more damage to place somewhere. Oh, I don't think I'm going to have enough to kill anything, but I can get some damage off of her. I'm going to deal 2 damage to this guy, making her now the target of this guy's attack, which is totally fine. I don't think I can do, I might be able to do some more damage. I might be able to actually, I can almost kill that guy, but not quite. I could do 1 damage and bleed, which would leave him with 1 health, but I think instead we're going to save ourselves. I'm going to pay this energy to do 1 and gain myself 2 defense tokens. 1 because of the card and 1 that I've already tried to divine this turn. So I'm going to gain 2 defense for that. I don't have anything I can use my other energy for that I gained. It's totally fine. I think we did just fine with that turn. Now we're going to take some damage. I'm going to take 2 damage here. I'm going to block that with my defense, but the attack character does lose 1 sanity. So we're going to go down to taking 2 sanity for that character. Next, this one is going to do 2 damage, but it goes after the person that it just attacked, that attacked it last. Now, I believe if that's the case, it's going to go after the leader token since we don't actually have anything. I think the ties go to leader. So I'm going to take 2, leaving myself with only 2 defense left because I did get 4 from that last turn. This person is going to attack for 3, which is super bad because I only have 2 defense left, which means I am going to take 1 more damage, bringing our total damage taken up to 3. That is the end of the turn. And of course, I didn't put them in the right order. This one should have attacked first. I apologize. And then it should have gone in that order, but it still wouldn't have made a difference. The same people still would have been attacked. If we go to the next round, this person is going to attack the person with the highest sanity, which is still going to be our possessed with 3 defense there. This person is going to grab 2 defense, and that person is going to stay at 2 defense as well. Our leader token is going to pass back over to our seer. She's going to gain 6 cards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this is a permanent skill, so it does stay out, which is awesome. I've got some great divination cards here. Oh, I got my defense card that gives me energy and some more attack. Oh, lots of defense. All right, lots of defense. I should have got rid of one of the defense cards. Going over to the possessed, we will gain 6 cards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And see what we have found here. We have lots of attack cards. Oh, which is perfect because that thing's out. So it's going to be super good. Oh, I kind of wish maybe I should have saved that for now, but it's okay. Oh, wow, we got our attack 5. That thing's going to rock something. And then we can attack 2 if it's blocking. Look at this. We can do like 7 damage and add 1 to the attack if it's blocking. So it's going to be 8 damage. And I can see her if I can get some of these. Oh, I could get, oh, this. Oh, yes, she is ready to rock. That is going to be awesome. I'm not sure if I'll be able to take everything out. So we're going to spend 2 energy to play this card that gives me 3 defense. And on top of that, it gives me 1 energy as well that I can spend in the future. Now, before we play any cards over here, playing a little bit fast, I did forget that I was supposed to take 2 sanity damage from the last cards. Both of these would have made me lose 1 sanity, and I didn't take the sanity hits for those. So, and I also should have lost 1 when I used this, meaning that I have taken a total of 4 sanity. I have 4 sanity and 3 damage on my character. So with that, that drops her sanity below the corrupted targeting system. So I think it's going to flip over to the seer. Oh, but the seer is also taken 2. So our seer's total sanity is 7. And this one is 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. So they're both the same. So then I believe it would be because she's the leader, she would be the one being taken attacking. And I'm probably going to lose more sanity here with all these cards I'm about to play. She's going to do some awesome things. The first thing is I'm going to use my Think Twice skill to put 2 weakness tokens onto 2 different enemies. I'm going to pay with my whiplash for that. Then, interestingly enough, I'm not going to use this card. I'm going to use it for energy to be able to use Subjugate twice, doing potentially 3 damage and 3 damage if the enemies have those tokens on them. And then I do have an extra card I'm probably just going to discard, but that's okay. But these have to be targeting me. Oh, no. Nope, never mind. We're going to be playing Subjugate. Or not Subjugate. We're going to be playing our Siege card. I think that'll be absolutely awesome. Yep, I did that wrong. Can't use those. Instead, I think we're going to use Think Twice to just give some energy. We're going to get 2 energy to use Siege, which is going to give us 5 attack, but I am going to take 2 more sanity, meaning we have taken 6. I then am going to pay 2 with these 2 cards to be able to play Whiplash, which can do potentially 3 if I'm going after a character that's defending. So we are going to do 5 damage here, which is just going to kill this monster straight out. Now, before I do the other things, I'm going to pass it back over to our seer because our seer is going to play some cards. With the card that she has first, she's going to play Edge, which is going to do 1 attack and inflict 1 bleed. Nope, I lied. We are going to play this one. This is going to attack 2 and inflict 1 bleed. That's really good. And we can do that because we still had 1 energy, and I'm going to use that card as well. To be able to play this card, we're going to check to see if we have an attack card. We do have an attack card, which was sad that I discarded it, but we're going to be able to do 2 damage and inflict bleed. And once this person is attacked, once per round, if this dealt damage, inflict bleed to 1 to all characters. Oh, it's going to hit all characters. Okay, I was hoping that it would just hit her, but that is not the case. We're going to put bleed on both of our characters. Totally fine. At this point then, I'm going to use her relic finally to discard all conditions and inflict the same amount onto somebody else. I'm going to put 2 bleed tokens onto that Okurmara or whatever. I can't even pronounce the name of that thing. The giant plant-eating thing from Little Shop of Horrors. And then we're going to play this card for 0. We're going to flip over a card. It is another attack card. So we're going to attack. We're going to do 2 damage to that. We're then going to shuffle up our deck, and that's going to be 1 energy that I really can't use because I don't have any cards left to play. But we're going to do 2 more damage plus the 1 from our bleed card that we had. So to do everything in the right order, we are going to first attack for 1 and bleed. That was the one that's going to give us our bleeding tokens. At this point now, I'm going to pass it over to the other character. She's going to attack for 2 and add 1 attack if the person is defending. The character is still defending with 1 defense on it, so I'm going to remove that to do 3 damage. I did play 2 attack cards, so this is going to fire off. If you play 2 different attack cards, deal 2 damage to an enemy. I'm going to deal 2 damage to that enemy, which is going to put it to 4. And then I'm going to play the the relic that passes the bleed token back over here, because I don't want the bleed token, I do lose 1 sanity doing that, bringing my sanity go down to 3. Oh, is that really worth it? Actually, I'm going to keep the bleed on her. That's fine. I'm not going to use my relic. I'm going to save my relic. I think that's a better plan. Instead now, we are just going to hit this for 2, which will be enough to kill it. This thing is dead. And that is the end of our turn. I don't think there's anything else we have to do except take 1 damage for our bleed tokens, which are terrible. So the possessed has taken 4 damage, and our seer has taken 3 damage. At this point, it is now going to go into this person's turn. This person is going to attack her for 3. I don't have any defense on her. Oh no! I forgot to put defense on her after doing all that damage. Darn, that's no good. So she's actually going to take 4 damage, 1 from the bleed token, and then a bonkers amount from that guy. She's taken 7 damage. Now I wish I would have gone to the shop and healed my guys. Going into round 3, this character gains nothing, which is awesome. But so we just have to deal it 6 damage. I think we'll be able to do that. I'm going to draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards with our seer. Even though we're going to be passing this token over to our possessed, she's going to be able to gain 1 attack. Plus, I could also do another, let's see here, 1, 2, 3. I could do 3 damage with her, minus anything I could flip over, which I could get 2, 3 from that. And then I'm going to power her relic up for 2, 3, 4 damage. I can do 4 damage and power her relic up. Oh, actually, relic's at full power, so she doesn't have to power a relic up. She's going to get 3 cards. I'm probably going to get enough damage out of this. I've got 1, 2, 3 damage right there, which would be enough to kill this, so I'm not actually going to play through this one, but I am going to hopefully gain enough to be able to give her power back onto her relic. Oh, I don't think I can. I used the relic this round, so I'm not going to be able to do that. Okay, so we are actually able to take this out. I know that last round really wasn't a round. There wasn't much left to do except take a guy out that had 6 health, and from the 12 cards between our characters, that would easily be enough to do it. I can't put any more into my relic for my seer, and I use the relic for my possessed, so I don't believe I can put anything in there for her. Again, we get a reward. There's going to be 4 coins. They're going to be pretty inconsequential because I don't have any, like, I'm going to the bad guy now. I don't really have that. So actually, I'm going to spend 1 of my coins to look at a 4th card. We have Ushaka's Control, defense 3, choose, regain 1 sanity, or regain 1 health for 3. That's pretty expensive. Oh, I got 2 of them, so I'll have to draw another one. Mandate, melee attack, attack 1, inflict 1, lose 1 sanity. It's free card. Another one. That's kind of funny. And we got combo again. All right, so I only have 1, 2, 3 cards here. So I am going to draw 1 more card. It's weird I got that many cards there. Let's see here. We got Tentacle Wall, defense. Defense 2 for all characters. They lose 1 sanity if they are insane. That's actually really good. I'm going to take that. I'm going to take Tentacle Wall. That sounds really, really good. All right, we're going to get rid of her cards. I'm going to pay a coin for our seer to look at a 4th card as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, and see what card she gets. She has gotten Lesser Evil, permanent skill. When you fail a divination, cause 1 damage. If you discard this card trying to divine, gain 1 energy. That might be the card right there. Tactical Balance. I don't think so. Oh, this one's really good too, though. And then we got another Lesser Evil, so I do get to look at 1 more card. We have Plan B. Why would I not want this? Because I always got a plan. Permanent skill. Bleed conditions deal double damage to all enemies. If you discard this card during divine, deal 1 damage to an enemy. Oh my gosh, that's really good too. I got a lot of bleed cards still in there for her. I think it's between those. Oh, imagine if I'd have had this card and this card together out there. At the start of your turn, inflict 1 bleed to all enemies. That could have been doing multiple damage. So there is some really cool ways of comboing some of these cards together. Double intentions and B-plan, permanent skills out there. That'd be really good. How many bleed cards do I have in here? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have a lot of bleed cards in here, 6 of them. I have 6 of my cards are bleed cards. And it deals double damage. Or if when I fail a divination, cause 1 damage. I think the bleed card. We're going to go with that. All right, that's her card. We've pumped ourselves up. We've powered ourselves up. It's time to take on the Cthulhu guy. So at this point, we are going to move our token all the way through here up to where our Cthulhu is. Before we move into our Cthulhu fight and finish off the boss, see if we can stop the summoning of Cthulhu, I just wanted to quickly show you what to expect if you were to pick up this game and put it out on your table. As you can see, there's a lot of empty space in here that I've been using, moving my camera around for recording purposes. So it being a card game, it does not take up very much room on a table at all. I believe this little tray here will not be coming with the game, but that I do not know. This is, of course, like a prototype. Everything is subject to change. There are going to be a lot more cards for this game than what you see out here. Like I said, there's going to be 3 other bosses other than this person, which I believe has its own set of enemies, and there is even a set of enemies I don't have right now that are available, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot more cards for our characters going forward for each of them moving forward. The other 2 characters I don't have out on the board right now is our sorcerer, and we also have our detective as well that we could have played with. Again, both having different mechanics that these 2 do not have. We have then the map would slowly be able to evolve, and it might stretch out over this table a little bit, but there are only about 13 cards for that deck right there, 13 or 14. So again, it's not going to cover a whole ton of area on the board or on your table. So it is a relatively not a very big table hog, which is super cool to have, considering a lot of the games I play are actually very expansive and cover a lot of the table. This one is pretty condensed, I guess, in that way. Now it is time to stop the boss. We're going to try to prevent Cthulhu from being summoned. Cthulhu is going to go through 6 rounds. Our goal is to survive all 6 rounds. We have to survive all 6 rounds and prevent the amount of threat to the world cannot go above 6 as well. And you'll see those threat numbers on these cards here. He's also going to curse us as well, so we'll have to deal with those going forward. Now, the way this is played is I'm going to draw 2 action cards per character that we're playing with, and those are going to be the targets for that particular character. For the first one, we can kind of get rid of the leader token at this point. Actually, I think we still have to have the leader token, but we're going to give this one to the possessed, and I'm just going to show you a little bit about this card. So up here, this is the threat number that we have. So if we do not take this out at the end of this round, it's going to gain 1 threat towards the threat pool. It has 5 health, and with the brackets, that means it's going to do 2 damage to each one of our players here. So that's going to go with our, what do you call it, possessed. This one's going to our seer. This one's do 3, and it has 4 health. Attacked characters lose 1 sanity. So again, we don't want to have to deal with losing sanity. We'll put that there. This one is going to go to the possessed. It's going to inflict 1, and it's going to do 3 damage, and it has 2 health. Again, this is going to give us 1 towards our threat. And the final one is going to be this one, just 2 threat. It inflicts in prison. That's no good. It does 2 damage, but it only has 4 health. So again, we have to try to take those out. That's the setup for it. Now we're going to go into round 1. We're going to draw a curse. We're going to give these a truffle shuffle here and see what curse has befallen our characters. I have no idea what any of these do. We'll check it out here. This one says demoralization. Wounded characters lose 1 sanity. I don't believe either of our characters are wounded. Of course, I lied. They are both wounded. So they're both going to lose 1 sanity. So that means this person is going to 2, 4, 6. It should be at 7. So it's going to be 8 sanity here. Oh my gosh, we're almost dead before we even start this thing. That's pretty awesome. All right, there we go. That person has taken 1 sanity. And over here, she has 5 or less health as well, so she is going to lose a sanity, so she is down to 3, taking 3 sanity damage. I'm going to make the seer our possessed. Sorry, our possessed is going to be our leader. She took the first card from the enemy, so I'm going to guess that means she's a leader. We'll just draw the seer's cards right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See what she's got. Hopefully she has a total of 8 damage in here. Otherwise, we're in trouble. There's 3. Get that one. 4, 5. And 6. Oh no, I got 6 damage in here. Oh, I think I can still take take my 2 tentacles out with her. We'll shuffle up our possessed cards, and hopefully she can get enough to deal with the damage she needs for her enemies as well. Actually, the seers, I don't think I have enough. 3, 4, 5, 6. Hopefully this will work for us. We'll see how this goes. Okay, we got our permanent card. If we can get that out, I think we're going to be okay. Here's 2 damage. Here's 2 more damage. Here's 2 damage. We got a lot of 2 damage cards in there. I think we might be okay on this side. I'm just a little bit worried about her side. Let's pull these tentacles down here so we can see them a little bit better, and we'll figure out how we're going to try to take these out. I think we're in a world of hurt. This is going to be a lot harder than we're going to be able to do. I don't think we can do this. I'm going to put out my permanent card. This is going to be a two thing. I'm going to pay with this. That's going to cost 2. Then in order for that to activate, I've got to play 2 attack cards. So I have to use those to be able to play my 2 attack cards. This is going to make me lose 1 sanity. Look how much sanity we have. We already have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 2 more, and she is dead. She's insane right now. If there's anything to help with that, that would be awesome. But I don't have any of that right now. So we're going to do a total of 6 damage here with these cards. I think that's enough to take, well, I can do 2 here and do a total of 2, and then 4 here, which puts this only at 1 damage left, which I might be able to get from my other character, but we'll see how this goes. Okay, so that's going to be, ooh, that one flying. This is going to have 3 damage on it. I might readjust as I look at what I can do with my seer, but that's going to be everything that this person can do. 2, 4, 6. So did 2 there and then 4 here, which means that this would have 4 damage. Okay, I'm already seeing something I can do differently. I'm going to be moving this 2 damage to this tentacle here, leaving 3 damage left on the tentacle over next to our possessed. Because we have blind faith, I'm going to pay 2 to put that out, which is going to do 3 damage. And then I have to check to see if all my divinations are going to be free. Now I have to decide before I do that if it's worth putting this card out for 1. Or using this as a 1 attack and bleed. It's a really tough call to make. Doing the math, I don't think I have enough to take everything out, so I am going to pay 1 to put this card out, giving me the ability to try twice. Oh, I'm glad I did that. I'm going to take 1 sanity, though, to do it. Let's see how we do. Okay, there's our attack card. Whoofta! We did 3 damage, which is going to kill this one over there from the seer, or sorry, the possessed. Now I'm going to play this for free, which is going to do 2 damage, which will kill this one. This is going to take 4. This one is also dead. All right, that one's dead. Now, this one's bad. Attack characters lose 1 sanity. I don't have anything about this, and this is going to be really bad. I do have one of these. This is going to, I have 1 left. It's not going to help me. Really, really bad. Here we go. Really, really bad. I think we just lost. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, I think we're okay. We'll see if we can do this. Okay, I am going to take 4 damage. I don't have anything that's going to help here. 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, actually, we just lost. Oh my gosh, we lost. Oh, there's so many. That's just brutal. I have to take these out. I have to take these out because otherwise I have to deal with the things. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Okay, so we did not make it. Cthulhu was summoned. We failed. Wow, I love the tactical play of this, trying to figure out how to do that. I wonder if I should have gone more defense. I could have put some defense cards out. I could have gave myself 2 defense, which I would have survived, but then we would have had another tentacle out, which probably would have been, I bet we would have tried to maybe keep that one out. And at that point then, we would have had 2 threat in our threat pool. Which would not have been good. Now, interestingly enough, you would never draw more of these. You only can ever have 2 of these on you at one time. I just thought it'd be best to take out as many of these as we can, but maybe I was wrong. Maybe I shouldn't have. Now, interestingly enough, if you do not do enough damage to take out the tentacles, it would recover all of them to full in the next round. Oofta. So there you have it. That was it. That was it. We died. So there you have it. That is Rise of the Myth Cthulhu by Surgenic Games. This was absolutely awesome. I can hardly wait to back this when it is out on crowdfunding. And of course, that has started when this video hits. So please check out the link to the crowdfunding in the description of this video. Again, this is a prototype. There is going to be a lot more added to this game going forward. So please check out the crowdfunding page so you can see more of what is in store when you pick up this game. Now, interestingly enough, the information I got from this says you have enough here to be able to take on and be able to beat Cthulhu without any problem. Well, I had a problem. I died. So the game does have a lot of challenge to it, which I really like. I love a game that has challenge. I have a hard time playing games where when you finally get to the boss, you just walk up and one stomp them. It just does not cause me any joy at all. So knowing that I was able to come into fighting Cthulhu and having been just almost obliterated on the first turn was really cool. Now, of course, now that I've played against him and I got this far, I would have gained a lot of points that I could then go buy those different things that I showed you earlier that would be able to help me take this guy on. I bet if I had a lot of those points, like even 2 more sanity or health would have progressed us at least into the next round. There were, of course, a lot more curse cards we had to deal with. Ignore gained energy effects. That would actually have been a lot better than the other one. enemies are immune to some of the status effects. We have other ones where characters do not discard their conditions at the end of their turn. Oh, that's terrible. Enemies ignore the first condition they obtain. Oh my gosh. So there's some really cool things here. Actually, the one I got was pretty brutal. Lose one sandies, lose one sandies. Enemies gain a defense. Ugh. Oh my gosh. Super cool. And like I said, each boss is going to fight completely different, and from what I understand, have a completely different set of enemies. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed the playthrough. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell symbol so you know when more content comes out. Please go check out Rise of the Myths on the crowdfunding site. Like I said, the link to that is in the description of this video. Also, please tell me what you think. What do you think of this game so far? I think this is pretty awesome. Again, 4 different characters to choose from, all with different mechanics when they fight. Like as you saw, this one likes to be insane and also deals a lot of status tokens that have to deal with them not being able to attack us for much. And as you saw, our seer gets to do the premonition, which is pretty awesome. And she gets a lot of those bleeding tokens that she gets to throw onto these enemies, which I didn't do too much with because bleed actually happens after they do damage to you. So if it's about the last thing you do to try to get a guy dead, it's actually really good, but I'd rather just have the guy dead. If you're interested in supporting the channel, the link to the Patreon is located in the description of this video. Those that have joined the Patreon are here on the screen. Thank you so much for your patronage. It means the world to me. Those that are part of the Patreon do get a few perks. One is that they get to see our playthroughs usually about a day or two ahead of time without commercial interruptions. Also, when it comes to playing games, we give them a chance to be able to help us decide who we play with. Now, I got this game and I had to do a fast turnaround on it because I would like to ship this out to another content creator. And so I just quickly grabbed a couple people that I thought were going to be pretty awesome to play with, and those are who we chose. But normally, my Patreon supporters get a chance to help us decide not only who plays in the games, but also in between plays of our campaigns, we have them help us decide how to upgrade our characters as well, so that our Patreon supporters get a chance to affect the games that Colin and I play moving forward. So there you have it. That was Rise of the Myths Cthulhu. Thank you so much for watching. And if you're excited to see what Colin and I have coming up next, then I need you to meet me at the table.